Hello friends and adventurers, and welcome back to Sally Cat Plays Exile 3, Ruined World. I am back in Fort Emergence, and good news! I found Solberg! He's hanging out here in the greenhouse. We saw in the destruction of the tower our greatest risk and greatest failure. By losing track of Linda's experimentation, we lost so much, including Madavi, one of the Triad itself. I mourn for us all. You saw the effects of the destruction as closely as I did. I wish to forget it all. Poor Solberg. Have a hug. Anyhoozle. Since I'm here, I think I can just talk to Bera about the evidence, which I do have, right? Yes, hot crystal shards. These shards of blue crystal remain hot to the touch long after the strange crystal creature who was creating the golems was destroyed. You kept them, hoping you might be able to use them to determine who was making the golems. Evidence. Bera looks at the crystal shards you found in the golem factory. After a few minutes, he gets a peculiar look on his face. He takes them and says, "Wait, let me test these." He is gone for several hours. You go to the dining hall, return, and find Bera waiting for you, looking visibly upset. He says, "After the Empire War, we found some Empire records on tests they did on crystal souls. Crystal souls are the souls of the Vanatai ancestors in crystal form, and exist to defend and advise the Vanatai people. The Empire managed to find out a lot about the qualities and makeup of these beings." He takes a deep breath. "What you have here are the fragments of a crystal soul, no doubt about it. The golems were being created by a Vanatai spirit. I tell you now, as sure as I am standing here, that the monsters on the surface are being created by Vanatai. I think you should tell Anaximander of this. We are all in terrible, terrible trouble." Oh dear. He shakes his withered head in worry and confusion. "Go see Anaximander, immediately." Also, I have no idea if that was close to the voice that I've given to Bera before, but I feel like it suits him. Anaximander, we have horrible news! Although, would it really have been better for the plagues to be created by the Archmage Erica or the dragons? I guess we wouldn't feel so bad about killing the dragons. Anaximander shakes his head in admiration as you describe how you slew the golems and their creators. "Still," he says, "our task is far from completed. After all, their creators are still at large, and if they created such an army once, they can again. Find out who created them, and convince them, by words or sword, not to destroy the surface. Only then can we have hope of returning to our home." Anaximander sits down, shaking his head in worry. Anaximander greets you. "I heard of our discovery with regards to the Vanatai. When we enlisted their help in the Empire War, we had no idea of the cost. Their vendetta against the Empire will never end until our home is destroyed. They are a powerful and intelligent foe, skilled in magic and weaponry. Exercise the greatest care, and stop them. They are our friends no longer. Defeat them, and save our homeland." Oh no. Suddenly he remembers something and checks his records. Oh dear, we've been seeing movements around the town of Geekra for days, but it was the Vanatai, so we didn't worry. You'd better go check up there. You've done very well. Go speak with X and Solberg. One of them will give you magical training. They're skulking about in this fort somewhere. So it seems the Vanatai may no longer be our friends. That is very troubling. Okay, X, what do you got for me? And he does actually acknowledge the recent unpleasantness of the Tower of Magi. Linda was a fool, and we paid for it. Never again. That's the keyword. Okay. You have done well. You have earned more magic. Listen carefully. He tells you in a terse way how to cast Demon and Mind Duel. That was for the giants and troglos. We heard of your fight with the golems. We will teach you magic now from the highest circle. Use it wisely. He teaches you the spells Shockwave and Protection. Those could have been useful in the Golem Tower, now couldn't they? Finally, I get those two spells. Also, I should maybe do a little inventory management while I'm here. Does anyone actually need another mithril chain? Okay, dropped a couple of particularly good items here for the good of Exile or something. For the good of me not carrying around so much crap. Do I... Oh, Connie's got a lot of skill points to spend. Lots of characters have a lot of skill points to spend. I'm starting to run out of useful things to give to some of my characters, so I bumped Assassination on my fighters. And I don't actually want to go out to the surface just yet. I've been told I should go check up on Gikra. The diplomatic outpost and home of our allies, question mark, question mark? And I've seen that message before. Gikra is now completely silent. Now that you know the Vanatai are responsible for the horrors on the surface, you approach with extreme caution. Huh. Every hair on your body stands up as you approach the chamber to the east. It's clearly a magical laboratory, but alarming in its spareness. There are no tables, no notes, no arrangements of vials or clutter. There are only 2 cases at the west wall, and an enormous pattern of glowing runes, etched 10 feet high in the tile of the floor. Above the center of the pattern, the air warps and shimmers, like it does above a fire. I believe I've seen that message before. And if I'm fool enough to stand right in the middle of the air-warping pattern of runes, you get a little too close to the center of the runic pattern, whether in warning or because you disturbed something you aren't sure, but a blast of energy flies out and washes over you. It hurts a lot. Yeah, let's not do that. Holding pen, have caution. I think I remember what's in here. You are annoying, but not nearly as much of a hazard as you were the first time I came to Gikra. Rentar-Ihrno appears to not be here anymore. And if she isn't, maybe I can loot her bedroom? It's got a crystal. Don't know if it's worth anything. I would be kind of surprised if Rentar left anything particularly valuable behind, and the crystal souls are gone. Yeah, everyone appears to have moved out of here. Well, let's see what's behind this barrier. Suddenly, there's a burst of flame from the fire pit to the south. You shield your eyes from the bright light. When you look again, a moment later, two beings are there that weren't there before. They don't look happy. Oh dear, Ifrits. Which apparently aren't immune to fire damage or flaming weapons. Okay, pretty grateful for the resistances of Paktar's Blade right now. And let's take one of my new spells out for a spin. Now, Peridot is invulnerable, and everyone is resistant to magic. Excellent. I'm not sure if poison or death arrows is going to be more effective against Ifrits. They're immune to poison, okay then, but have a significant weakness to cold. Have an ice bolt. And being high-level enemies, they do drop pretty good loot. Weight 27, woof. At the end of the path is a glowing door hanging in midair. As you get close, you feel a force pushing everyone but the closest person away. It seems it will only let one of you in. Does one of you enter it? Not before I renew my protection spell. Question is, who do I want to send in? Hall of Dark Images. Looks like a big conference room. And my invulnerability to damage has already worn off. As soon as you step into the middle of the circle of runes, in full view of the rows of chairs, something happens which is amazing and horrifying at the same time. Images appear above the 6 runes, floating and circling slowly. They are monsters. A slime above one rune, a cockroach above another, a troglodyte, a giant, a golem, and a strange, 6-legged beast float above the other runes. You realize that this is some sort of meeting room, where the Vanatai could examine and discuss the creatures with which they've been slaughtering the people on the surface wholesale. After a minute, the images slowly float away. Then, with a flash, 2 guards appear. They move to attack. And it's a Wraith and a Vanavoy, and I'm really not worried about my invulnerability fading off. Might want to haste myself, though. There are advantages to sending a fully developed mage into this area, or into solo combat. Alright, is that all you got? You're not hostile. From a ways away, this looked like a formidable Vanatai warrior. When you get close, however, you see that it isn't actually there. It's very slightly translucent. It looks at you as if it were alive, however. It stares at you perfectly impassively. It says in an emotionless voice, "I have been left here with a message. My creators wish me to tell you not to interfere. Rentar-Ihrno and others. The Empire stole 3 of our crystal souls. They stole the soul of our people. You cannot comprehend the magnitude of this offense. Picture if someone violated and destroyed those you loved most. Such it was with us. The Empire must be destroyed. Those who live in the Empire are a part of it and must be destroyed. The Empire's lands must be destroyed. Those who try to prevent our vengeance must be destroyed." The shade begins to fade. Your destruction of the crystal soul creating the golems can be forgiven under these circumstances. Do not oppose us further, however. Aid the great enemy, you become the great enemy, forever. The Empire and its lands must be ashes. Remember this, and choose wisely. The shade disappears. Okay, so not only the Empire and all of its people, but their lands must be destroyed? Are you expecting to share the caverns with the humans of Exile? Because you're not gonna leave us a lot of options on where else to go. I think someone might be engaging in overkill. By a lot. With a flash of light and a strange, vertiginous feeling, you are reunited with your party. And blocked off by lava, because that's really gonna stop me. I wonder if you cheat in having Dispel Barrier early in the game, if you can reveal these plot flags way earlier than you're supposed to. And while we're in the underworld, we're going to run into some goblins and exile soldiers. I'm going to take a shortcut across rivers with my orb. I don't remember if anyone tells me that I should be doing this, but now that we know who the ultimate enemy is, it's time to revisit the bunker. You remember what Commander Johnson told you and say Galaros. Sure enough, a section of the east wall of the building slowly fades away. A corridor leads into the dark bunker. There's a peculiar, pungent smell, like boiling herbs. Okay, Enla is not the one to talk to. I didn't think Pathos was the one, but I wanted to check. Alstoth, what you doing? That is our purpose now. We wait until someone finds who made the plagues of monsters on the surface, so that we can craft a weapon to use against them. Should you ever know who created the monsters, come back and tell me their name so we can make a weapon. One warning. Be absolutely sure you are right. Our resources are limited, and we can make only one powerful item. If your first guess is wrong, I strongly doubt we will be able to help you again. No reason. Well, we are pretty sure at this juncture that the Vanatai are the ones responsible for the surface plagues. The Vanatai have caused the horrors on the surface? Disturbing news indeed. Their magic is easily equal to our own. Perhaps, however, we may find a way to disrupt the crystals they use for their magic. We will focus all of our energies on finding a way to fight this foe. Return here in a few days, and we should have something for you. A few days? Ah. Well, while we wait, I can sell a few extra goodies that I don't need to carry around with me. I need to actually show what the Scribane herb does at some point. Okay, so we are going to have to come back to New Kotra pretty soon. Meanwhile, I'm sure Anaximander will be not pleased to hear the most recent developments. Okay, he doesn't actually react to the most recent developments. Right. Well, I guess we got a little time to kill. So, there is a corner of the surface that I want to return to. And unfortunately, it's not super easy to teleport out there. Also, I seem to have misplaced my horses, or left them in Lorelei. Orb! Who needs bridges when you have orb? Ah, I can't fly over the ocean. That is a wise bit of programming. Let's see, I don't think I need to go into Bolton, or do I? Where's my maps? Okay, that's Crescent, so Carnold, Bolton. Yeah, I think Libras and or Stormport are the towns that are going to get me to the islands over here. Once I figure out who's selling tickets. Labor's Warehouse. Ah, that is unexplored because I didn't feel like dealing with the trap. Honestly, I probably can disarm it. And it's got lots of clothes and goods and exotic herbs. Hooray! Okay, Vincent's the one with boat tickets. Hee, whiskey. You drink it and for a few minutes you can see angels. Tickets to Lost Isle. It's a town on the remote isle to the south. Nice town, very peaceful. I would like to purchase tickets. Go to the docks at the south end of town and walk to the end of the center one. And thank you for your business. You're welcome. Several scruffy Libras fishermen are waiting for passengers to take over to Lost Isle. You have tickets. Take the trip. You take the boat ride across to the tiny town of Lost Isle. It's a quick, pleasant trip. You see dolphins. The ferryman tells you to go to the end of the center dock and wait when you want to return. Well, at first glance, Lost Isle seems to be yet another small and not very interesting empire town. Haven't seen a whole lot of people wandering around. Oh, you're interesting. This man is busily chopping herbs. It's an incredibly intricate procedure. Apparently, he's trying to get all strips to exactly the same length and width. The concentration involved doesn't leave much mental room for dealing with you. Harmon, he says, continuing to concentrate on the herbs. Sorry, chopping herbs. He keeps chopping, speaking very slowly so that he can devote most of his concentration to his job. For alchemy. Needs to be very precise. Want to buy ingredients? Give you good price. Don't get many visitors now. This island got a basilisk nest. Chop chop. People have left like crazy. Chop chop. Deadly things. Turn you to stone by looking at you. Some people thought carrying mirrors would save them. They're dead now. Most everyone left. I stayed. Good ingredients here. Just don't go out much. Okay. We can straight up buy grey mold here. Do I have grey mold, and how much of it? I have 14 grey mold. Holy crap, that feels like a lot. Remember when grey mold was a rare and miraculous potion ingredient? Lost Isle Barracks, Eliza Brooks, Commander. Well, if she's named, then probably I can talk to her. Once I find her. I saw someone wandering around. There you are. A tired-looking woman wearing an intricate gold amulet is sitting behind the desk. She has a great mace at her belt. I'm Commander Brooks. She grimaces. Trying to keep this town in one piece, that's my job. I'm trying to deal with the basilisks. We don't know how they got here, but there's at least 10 of the evil little suckers running around. Most everyone left until they could be dealt with. I stayed to fight them, because I had this. She points to her amulet. It's sort of a family heirloom. When I wear it, the basilisks can't hurt me. Now I spend all my time hunting them, trying to get rid of them all. I'll succeed someday, somehow. She laughs bitterly. Some people before they left tried to purchase it from me. Like I'd get rid of the only thing that could help me save this island. People can be so stupid. They really can. This home looks like it was abandoned in quite a hurry. All of the furniture is still here, and a meal was even left to rot on the table. Anything interesting on the bookshelves? No. Anything interesting in the book? Weaponry of the Realm. I've definitely read that before. Because sometimes I feel like being polite. not letting wild stray cats into empty homes. My own cat has not joined me for this recording session, which feels a little strange. The sign has been painted over. Whoever was here isn't here anymore. The fixtures of this shop show the signs of heavy use, so you know this store has been used. However, it's abandoned now. It's chilly and dusty, and the shelves behind the counter are bare. And same messages. Lost Isle fine rations. Generic provisioner. Can buy cured meat, roast beast, hamburger, excellent rations, and exotic meats. Got any basilisk burgers? Prices are extremely cheap, though. Not that I need that much food. So this island has grey mold and basilisks, and that's about it, really. Welcome to the Remote Isles. Aptly named. Gee, I wonder what that special dot could be. You find the village of a few of the boat people that inhabit these islands. After a few jokes at your expense, they offer to take you to the next island and back for 10 gold. Okay. Thought that was going to be a basilisk nest, but no, the basilisk nest is in another castle, island. You arrive at this remote isle, and immediately notice a lack of life. No birds chirp, no animals scavenge the shore. You only find one very unnerving sign of life, an absolutely perfect statue of a squirrel near the beach. Also, random question, if basilisks turn their prey into stone, how do they eat? Do they just use the stone gaze on things that annoy them and eat other critters? Do they somehow consume the life force of an enemy when they paralyze them? Kinda thinking the latter. Because, you know, magical beings, they don't have to obey the same kinds of rules that mundane animals do. There is a small vale here, with what looks like a lot of massive fungi growing in it. Between here and there, however, is the large stick and twig nest of a family of lizards. You stand a safe distance away, watching them watch you. Apparently they are not using their petrification gaze on me. You reach the glade the basilisks guarded, because for some reason they spawned on the other side of it. The fungi are neither edible nor useful. However, at the bases of some of the larger mushrooms, you find that rarest and most valuable of alchemical ingredients, mandrake root. And we've got basilisks and an basilisk, which might, at one point, have been a threat. Found the basilisk. Whoa. I one-shotted that one. Who wants basilisk burger? Magical lizard steak. Mandrake is a delicate, slow-growing root. This patch has not yet regenerated itself from your last visit. You'll have to come back later to get more. Also, that was only 4 lizards when Commander Brooks said there were at least 10. How about that? That was only one lizard, but it was enough to get Connie to the level cap. Also, these fishermen are sort of brave to be living in basilisk-infested islands. At least in this version of the game, I don't think I can actually clear out the basilisk nest and make the island safe for everyone. Maybe in the remake. Maybe. Well, I've killed a few of them for you, but afraid I can't solve the entire problem. Fortunately, there's a fisherman in dock, available to take you back to Libris. You have the chance to put this depressing island behind you. Take the trip. The fishermen return you to Libris. They troll for salmon on the trip, making it several times longer than it needs to be. It's a long, tedious trip, but you finally arrive. And now we can move on to the next set of small islands. And instead of going into town for the ferry, it looks like the ferry is right here. And this whole island has basically nothing except for the town of Gorst, which I will explore next time. Have a good one, everybody.